Hey guys, hello to all the Rough Conversations podcast listeners. This is an intro to Rough Conversations podcast number 3. So I'm Brad. I've been called Brad T as well. A little bit of radio work and things like that I did back at home. Brad's good for now. So hello to all of you, and how you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to wherever you are. And whatever sort of state that you're in at the moment, sort of state of mind or state of feeling, a big welcome to all of you and to everything that you guys are feeling right now. The reason for this particular intro on this podcast is to say thank you to you all for listening. And thanks to all of you that listened to the first couple of podcasts. Now, Rough Conversations is basically just a talking forum podcast that is based on the rough conversations that we have in everyday life. So, at the moment, there are a couple. The first one was just a friend of myself talking about something that I was experiencing that we thought would be nice to share. Things that perhaps we all experience in our everyday lives and just don't want to talk about. So the premise of this whole thing is just to have a conversation openly, candidly, and with no inhibitions while it's being recorded, as opposed to generally talking straight into the microphone. And with any luck, hopefully there's a bit of entertainment and moreover a bit of benefit that is gained from it. So good response to our first two, both of them slightly different in topic and conversation. However, there was a link between the two. Now, the one that's gotten the most feedback so far was podcast number 1, which was about physical appearance and the sexes, and how, in my personal experience and with a friend of mine, George, how we perceive and look at women. And not in any sort of degrading fashion or anything like that, just generally the things that come up in everyday life, and kind of get in the way. And in that first particular one, it was about the fact that there are women that we'll tend to get to know, and in my experience, this is what was happening. Very nice chick, awesome woman, but she didn't really match what I thought was my sort of previously formatted, preconceived idea of what I found physically attractive, because, that's kind of what happens when you first meet people, or when I first meet people, is there's a little bit of assessment of the physical aspect, especially if I'm sort of thinking about getting interested or physically involved. So that one got quite a lot of feedback, and it seems to have had the most sort of identification. Now, the second one was really good as well. I enjoyed it, but of course that's going to be up to you guys. Now, the premise of this entire platform for me is a whole lot more than just some of the conversations that we've been having. We've been talking about them in a candid way. And of course, there's a lot of things that we are learning as we're going as well. So we took a massive leap. We took a massive jump. We didn't have any particular equipment or anything like that. And we just kind of started this process. And I'm going to create a little intro video that's going to be posted on YouTube, because we have a YouTube channel as well. So it's all very basic at the moment. So keep your eyes out for that little intro video, and it's going to be me saying hello to you and just explaining to you a little bit more as to what I feel this is about. Some of the conversations may sound a little bit irrelevant at this point in time, but there's definitely a bigger purpose in mind for this from me. And of course, I believe everybody else involved. And we'd like to get you involved. So on this particular occasion, Missy, who we'll call her Missy because she's a Missy Elliott fan, she did say to me jokingly as well at one stage that sure, she'd love to feedback on the initial podcast that we had, podcast number 1. And she'd like to ask me a few questions about that, but she'd also like to give her perception on that. Now, the best way for you to do it, guys, is to go back and have a listen to podcast number 1. The Facebook page is Rough Conversations. You can find us on Twitter at RoughChat1. And we also have a SoundCloud account, which is Rough Conversations Podcast. And of course, an email account that I've opened up called roughconversations@gmail.com. So at any stage of the game, you can either send me a message or an email, or just leave a comment, and that's Brad. Or you can email George, who's my buddy on this as well, and he's doing all the graphics and things like that. So if you like the graphics, give George a bit of a shout out on that one. This is a project that we're really going to push with, guys. Again, there's a lot more to it for me, and hopefully for you about this, and I'll explain that in the intro video. Now, a little bit of a caveat and a disclaimer for this particular podcast is that we'll call her Missy, awesome chick, and it was really one of the most powerful conversations I've had up to this point. Describes a woman's point of view on physical appearance in the sexes and things like why women are more attracted to men that are with other women. This conversation goes a lot deeper than that as well, and it just sort of manifests into a whole bunch of really good stuff. And Missy was awesome with this. She was very open. I learned a lot. I hope you learn a lot from this as well. Now, the whole thing is that she was a little bit nervous coming into this, and she told me that, but she was up for it and she was game. What was happening is we were sitting at a park and I had some recording equipment with me in the form of a computer and so on. And the conversation just kind of started happening organically. So in order not to throw off a game, I didn't take out my computer and start recording. What I did is I put my Samsung on the ground and just turned it on and started recording without her initially knowing about it. Although she had agreed pre and post to this, to the recording to allow it to be aired. So I wouldn't have done it otherwise. And it let the conversation flow naturally. What that did though as well is it allowed for a lot of external noises, and it was quite windy at the park. So what I've done is I've tried to clear up the audio as much as possible. Now there are bits and pieces, very few hopefully, that aren't quite as audible, but 98% of the conversation is audible. So if you are a woman and you like to hear what she said, if you're a guy, there's going to be some real secrets in here for you, and some absolute pearlers, guys. So please accept the disclaimer on this one. As we progress as well, we're going to get better equipment and things are going to get better. But it's great to see you guys here. It's great to hear from you as well. So please leave the comments, get involved, tell us about things that you like to hear. What are you preferring? What are you not liking? How could we make this better for you? So here it is, podcast number 3. This is Missy, a woman's point of view. Right, guys, have fun. Enjoy the podcast. Again, thank you very much. This is Brad T. We'll chat soon. Remember, don't overdo it. Do it over. Have yourselves a fantastic one. Enjoy this one. We'll speak soon. Bye-bye.
Things that they had spoken about that you wanted to ask me?
Yeah, because, I mean, obviously it's a comedy show and they were telling the truth. You know, it's kind of real talk, but it was kind of like, I was really, did I say that? You know, I can't remember what it is. It was like that when they started talking about it. And guys in the show, in the audience, kind of understood and kind of got that.
And the girls weren't getting it.
No, it's not they weren't getting it. It was just like, really? So, you know what I mean? It's like you're in your own world.
Okay.
And there's a lot of things that women don't know. In terms of, it seemed like guys have a certain code, or not code, but there's certain things it doesn't matter where you're from. There's a certain behavior or things that you say or things that you do when you're in certain situations when it comes to women.
Okay.
I will think of it. I will.
So do girls have a code?
Do we have a code? I don't know.
I mean, if you take the same theory of what you're describing or feeling is a guy code and transplant that same philosophy into between females, is there a code that you can think of?
Well,
and what does this code define? I mean, does it define some sort of secret understanding of something or some sort of secret?
You know, when you were talking, I think it was the first thingy that you did, when you were talking about something to do with...
the first podcast.
The first podcast.
Yeah.
See, I'm really forgetful. It was talking about women watching, something like women watching other women.
So what I was saying is I find, and other guys find as well, from what I know. So if you say, for instance, we go out by ourselves, it seems to be a lot tougher to get the attention of women. Mm-hmm. But when you go out with another woman, all of a sudden, females, really attractive females, seem to pay more attention to the guys. Like when we went to Brixton Beach the other night. If I have a feeling if I went there by myself, I wouldn't have gotten as many sort of looks as I got. But I mean, there were a whole bunch of chicks there that were checking me out. And when I went out with this other girl on Sunday last week, we went to the Mexican restaurant. All of a sudden, and it just because I've been sort of paying a little bit of attention to it out of the blue, more women tend to pay attention. So we don't know, is that a challenge, or why would they pay more attention?
What it is that obviously when you're on your own, it's when you're walking out, people just may glance over. They, it's not something, and it goes the same as you're walking in a park, busy park. There's a group of girls here.
Yeah.
You might not even get noticed.
Yes. Well,
if you were with a group of guys, you would get noticed.
Okay.
When it comes to like certain places and you're going out,
get noticed by females.
By females.
So with a group of guys, I'll get noticed. Why is that?
Just because I don't know what it is. I think it's just the, as girls when we're together, the most topic that we talk about is guys and things like that, and we tend to, especially if we're in a place, if we're in a bar, if we're out, we tend to. Well, our eyes are always open, if that makes sense. So it's even more open for that sort of thing. So you wouldn't really notice a guy because it's not a source of topic. Oh, that guy's cute, this is one. It's not going to do the group anything. It's not really going to do anything. When you see a group of guys, and that being with a group of girls as well, it might kind of be like, okay, yeah, that one likes this one sort of thing. And then you may decide to flirt in your group, which you wouldn't do on your own ordinarily, but you wouldn't really do that with a single guy. Okay. And you wouldn't really, as I said, you may, but it's very rare that you would notice them in a group of girls.
But if a guy's out with a girl, if a guy's out by himself, what makes him less noticeable to you than when he's with another woman? Is it
okay? So what it is? Okay, so you're going out with a girl. I'm the group of girls, or I'm a girl on a table.
Well, you are a girl to start with.
Fine.
Yeah.
So you come in with a chick. And I might be there with a partner, I might be there with another girl, it doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly in enclosed places, places where it's kind of small-ish, not like maybe an open space sort of thing like this.
Yeah.
As a woman, the first thing we do, we look at the woman.
Okay.
We look at the woman, we're looking at her, and then we look at the guy.
Okay.
So if we see, like, a really ugly guy. Okay, I don't say that because that's not very nice.
No, but it's true. Because people are ugly, people are pretty, people are fat, people are thin. It's a matter of perception to the individual.
Yeah.
But whether it's very nice or not, it's true. Those are words that the English dictionary and the English friggin' language has given us to describe things that we feel positively or slightly negatively about. Right? Not even slightly negatively, just fucking totally negative. So it's ugly. Fucking bro's ugly. He's an ugly motherfucker. Yeah.
So we see that, and the girl is quite pretty. If we're on our own, we will just be in our minds. We won't just think, if we're with our partner, it's like, oh, look at them. It's just because it's such a difference in appearance.
When somebody's with another female, a guy.
Yeah, so it could be the opposite way around. So if there's a good-looking guy with maybe a not-so-good-looking female, you'd be like, oh, I wonder what's going on there. It's kind of I don't know what it is.
So what would be going on there? Is it like a pity party? If he's with a female that you think is not in the same league as him, you're like, well, what's wrong? Does he not have confidence or something?
Yeah, if it's like, for example, a really pretty guy to start with, you might be thinking, what's he got? That sort of thing. It's a passing thought.
What's he packing where in his pants?
Maybe.
Fuck, it's windy, eh?
It is. Yeah.
And that's a real thing. That matters, what they're packing in their pants.
No, well.
Well, let's be honest. Yeah?
Okay, right. So I'll tell you a little story.
Please.
So, my ex...
I've got a couple of things I want to get back to here, though, as well. Mm-hmm. There's a couple of things that I want to go back to that you've already said as well.
Okay. So, my ex, nice guy, lovely guy. He's the only one who's met my daughter in 7 years, since we dated like 4 years ago. What can I say? Nice guy. marriage material, everything. We dated, and when I say we dated properly. You know, we kind of dated.
As opposed to?
As opposed to. As opposed to kind of having a couple of days and sleeping together, we dated for a while, like 3 months or so before we kind of did the deed sort of thing. So by then we'd already established the connection, feelings and stuff like that.
So you dated before you shagged for 3 months?
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, always good. And then it came to, getting to know you in that type of way.
In the physical, sexual way.
Yeah. Which I thought would be fine because, all the feelings were there, it was all lovey-dovey.
And he had a small totty?
No, it wasn't even that. It was...
But he did have a small dick?
He had... It wasn't
Did he have a small
that.
dick or not?
Wait. I don't even listen. You guys. I don't know what's small and what's big. Okay, I lie.
But yeah, exactly. You were just talking about the size of a guy's package.
Yeah,
related to the kind of girl that he's with.
Listen, I'm not saying I don't know because I don't know what the smallest is.
Right, but you should know what works for you, right?
It's not that, it's okay. Listen, I don't really mean it would. Okay, it wasn't working as properly. It wasn't working as well as it should have been.
His dick wasn't working as well as it should have been.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which happened.
So he couldn't get it hard.
He could, but we're talking 2 minutes, 3. Maybe 4,
so just he had no endurance.
5. I don't even know. I don't think it was more than that.
Okay, so he had no endurance.
None. Okay. And I'm very open, very, very open. I'm like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
It was like, I'm a bit excited. Okay, kind of let it go.
Okay, well, let's be honest here. I want to give you an example. Like, if I was going to sleep with a chick, the first thing I would say is, okay, cool. I have one stipulation if we're going to do this. If we're going to do this, we have to sleep together at least twice. In a row. Because 9 out of 10 times, I'm not a porn star. The first time isn't going to be all that long. Right? Is that the same sort of thing that you're talking about?
No. Completely different. I understand that. I'm a nurse. I understand that. It's not a big deal. But what the problem was is that I think I don't know if he felt embarrassed, because I kept addressing it over time.
Yeah.
And he kind of thought it was like, I told him to go to his doctor. So what can I do?
So this had gone on for a while.
It's gone on for a while. Yeah. I tried.
Okay.
And yeah, it just wasn't happening. In the end, I had to call it quits. And for me, it was the first time I realised that actually matters. I really didn't think, honestly, maybe it sounds really naive, but I always thought that, it wouldn't matter.
Whether or not he had any longevity. Pun intended.
If the guy was a nice guy and everything was all good, I think it would be okay. I think if the opposite was to happen, for example, it was all good and then he had an accident or something, I think, I can handle it that way. But at the beginning, definitely is something that you kind of need to complete the relationship, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so...
But women, we do...
So you liked the guy, you had a relationship, you had a connection, you were together for like 3 months.
No, we were together in total for 8.
Okay, but before you slept with him, it was like a 3-month thing.
Yeah.
So you had everything else that you thought you needed, but you're not sure about the size, because you don't know what size you like, and you just weren't happy with the fact that there was no consistency in terms of longevity. You couldn't last long enough.
And it wasn't only that, right? It wasn't only that.
What else was
the fact that he was very inexperienced. He was a lot older than me. Well, I'll say a lot. He was about 8 years or 9 years older than me.
Okay.
And he's only been in one relationship before. I think he only had sex twice before.
Okay. So
and it wasn't like it was a long-term 15-year relationship.
But that's not his fault. And what does that have to do with...
That isn't his fault. However, there's other ways to satisfy women.
Okay, and he wasn't playing the game.
It wasn't... as I said, I'm very open. I say it.
Yeah.
I try to be nice about it.
So what else would you have liked him to do?
Going into details.
Yeah, one time, why not?
I'm shy. Right?
Yeah? You and I, we know each other.
I'm sorry. You know, okay, so, you know, not everything is intercourse. Not everything is
Penetration.
penetration.
Eh?
Yeah, not everything is that. So.
Dick in the JJ. Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay, so what else would you like them to do then?
other stuff.
Like what? Tell me, I don't know.
You know, okay, so oral sex.
Oral sex.
Oral sex.
Okay, yeah. And
He had no idea. He'd never done it before.
he wasn't playing ball.
So I even said to him, like, listen, go out, go with your boys and go to, because he lives in Amsterdam. Go to,
Well, there could be a reason why he can't get it up. It's too high all the time, right?
No, he wasn't intending that. Go and do what you have to do. Take a month, whatever, experience and stuff. Because I didn't really want to be a teacher.
And then come back to me.
Yeah, come back to me. Honestly, I would have been waiting. I wouldn't have done anything. Because
Yeah.
I really liked him. I kind of really did think it would go forward. But
So you liked him enough to say, listen here, chap, here's a free pass. Go and study for a month
I study for a
on
month.
the methods of being a cunning linguist.
Because I probably would get a little bit frustrated, and I didn't want to do that. You know, if for example I had to teach it and be like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck are you doing?" No, I'm joking.
Fair enough.
You know, so
No, fair enough.
it's easier to kind of be like, you know, I understand it's not your fault, but use this now, time, experience to kind of get that,
Yeah.
and we'll continue where we left off.
So what happened? Did that
I just
happen?
don't want to know what. No, he was like, no, I don't want to do that. You know, I'm with you, but I was like, this is really important for me. I'm realizing it's really important.
Yeah.
Because I'm really frustrated. I mean, how can I be with someone? If I'm single, I can go a year's. I don't have to touch it.
Well, because there's no level of expectation. But don't you think maybe that's a problem then as well for you? Because isn't it quite healthy to like masturbate and give yourself a
Oh, no.
orgasm?
As a woman, we've all tried that. Nothing for me.
Yeah.
Nothing. No masturbations, no toys, no nothing does it for me. The only thing is man.
Yeah.
Only thing.
So, and if the man you're with can't,
Exactly.
it's not cutting the cloth,
Exactly.
so to speak.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
And when I'm with someone, you know, I'm like a nympho. I'm in a relationship that needs to be done. You know, everything else comes out. And when I'm single, it kind of stays in its closet, sort of thing. So
It like hibernates for the winter. It just like grows and fucking bubbles. Like manifests into this fucking animal that needs to come out. Is that it?
you know, I think I'm well controlled.
But that's right. That's what you're saying, basically. Okay, so you booted his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not in that way.
And that's but because he wasn't fulfilling you sexually. I mean, it's a real thing, isn't it?
It's sad, you know. It's sad because, you know, if he said to me, you know, you got a free pass, it would be perfect. I'd be married by now, like, no problems.
Okay. Well, I mean, was there anything else that was wrong besides that then?
No, that's it.
All right, so, okay. So interesting. So it does matter.
But he was smoking.
You don't like smokers?
I don't like smokers, but he was trying to give up, which was something. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Yes, it was.
Shame. So the poor guy just didn't have what it took. But then he's not for you, right? I mean, as a guy, there's some woman that I'm not sexually compatible with that I've discovered, you know.
What's that? Tell me.
Well, it just sometimes it doesn't click. Like, I mean, I was with a girl that was very attractive on the outside. She had everything. She had B-cup boobs, nice little bum, legs, feet, fucking waist, blonde hair, blue eyes, nice little hands, and all of that sort of thing. And it just didn't really work down there. Not from my side or anything like that, but we weren't.
What do you mean it didn't work down
We weren't
there?
compatible, man.
No, but you said down there.
Yeah, like when it came to sex, like it was uncomfortable every single time.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? I'll tell you.
Well, I can't say this without sounding like I'm blowing my own horn, but like,
Okay, wait.
Well, according to her, it was difficult for her to manage my dick. And the thing is I'm not a porn star, man. I'm not necessarily the biggest oak in the world by any stretch of the imagination. But the car was bigger than the garage, mate. Don't stifle the laugh. When you laugh, you're going to laugh out loud. You're going to hurt yourself. So, and it just didn't really work that way, and there was sort of a thing missing. So it works both ways like that as well. Right, but now let's go back to what chicks talk about and see when they're with another guy, or when a guy is with another girl.
So sometimes it depends on the type of girl. So, if you're in a group, and it depends on the person. If a woman sees a really attractive guy,
or what they think is really attractive.
Oh yeah, what they think is really attractive, and then he's with another woman, they're walking down. If the girl is as attractive, then they kind of look, and then that's the end of it. They look, then that's it.
Okay, so why is that it?
I think because they're on the same level.
What you think you're perceiving subjectively as them being on the same level, so it's a good match.
Exactly, it's a good match.
Okay.
If he's super hot and she isn't as hot, women might start to think one or two things. Either see it as a competition, depending on them. See that, why is he with her, sort of thing. Maybe check out if they got any rings on the finger. So if they're married, it's like, okay, whatever, they've already gone that far.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of like, it's an intriguing thing to know why, what's up with that, what happened there, what is it? I wonder how they met, how they got together.
Yeah, maybe she's got a lovely personality. If you don't think she's that attractive.
Yeah, but that never crosses a woman's mind.
Yeah.
That's not something.
But women are the first ones to say, women are the first ones to say, well, it's not all about looks, it's about personality. So how does that not cross a woman's mind?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. I mean, I don't know what we think in terms of women. Like, do we think maybe she's a millionaire?
So here come a couple, to them both pushing bicycles. Take a quick look, turn around. The other way. Yeah, see, did you get a good look?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. So in terms of your compatibility theory, how did those two rate?
I think she's a little bit more attractive than he is.
She's a bit more attractive than he is, right?
But that's what women do. We kind of, they tend to go for less. But it actually works both ways. Yeah, kind of like maybe one level. Let's say if she's a 10, he's a 9.
Yeah, yes. But what are they? She's about a 5 or a 6. She's a 5. So does that make him a 4? Well, then again, that's just my opinion. I was trying to be nice there, right? Stop it. This is realistic shit. So, okay. So, in that case then, so when the guy is not that hot or not that attractive according to you, but she is quite attractive, what's the philosophy then? Or the theory?
There isn't much. There isn't much when it's the other way around. There isn't. We just kind of think, oh wow, he's lucky, isn't he? That's it.
Okay, so not like maybe he's packing some heat.
It depends.
Yeah?
It depends. Like me, I've dated out to my race. And I have been told, or been asked when I've been out on a date with a white guy. In fact, the guy stopped me. It was like a good black guy. So I was with the guy. Thought it was really good. He stopped me and like, why are you with this guy? And it wasn't his girl. He let me cheat.
So the black guy came to you and said to you, why are you with the white guy? Yeah?
Yeah.
So what's the answer?
I was trying to piss off.
Yeah? So why were you with the white guy?
It was a date.
Okay.
But then, like, people do think that, you know, because of the stereotype of black guys and what they're packing and stuff.
All right, what's the stereotype?
Oh, come on, don't give me that bullshit. Don't give me that bullshit. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay, so, but is the stereotype true? What's the stereotype? The stereotype is that black guys... Look, I went to boarding school, man. There were some black guys with fucking long schlongs. There were some white guys with long schlongs. There were some fucking black guys with tiny schlongs, man. And there were some white guys with tiny schlongs. You know? We used to shower in the same showers. So, what's the stereotype then? And is it true that black guys have bigger dicks than white guys?
Well, yeah, I mean, it is on average, I'd say.
On average.
Yeah.
But I mean, you get porn stars fucking white and black with...
Yeah, no, it's true, you do. But like just in general, and I think, and it does depend on where you're from. If you're Caribbean, it's not so
prevalent.
big.
So Caribbean black guys have small dicks. Or
they're not small, but they're average.
Yeah. Okay.
But if they're African black, I mean, some of them are weapons. I mean, I don't see it as, honestly, for me, I don't see it as anything special.
Yeah.
Because
apparently it's also tribe related though. Some tribes just are different. Some of the African tribes. It's not all the African tribes. So it's just something. But having said that, I mean, you know, maybe it's just the fact that there's more. It's a statistic thing. It's a numbers game, right? Some black guys are fucking huge, just built like, I mean, 7-footers and stuff like that. I mean, and anatomically, when people are bigger, everything else is generally quite bigger. But also numbers-wise, there's a lot more Africans on the planet than there is white people. You know, so it might just be a statistic thing. You know, so there may be a little bit more of them around.
I mean, I'm not. You know, I don't know whether it's actually true. I'm only speaking from my own perspective.
Yeah.
You know, but
so from your own perspective, it is true to a certain degree on average.
Yeah. I mean, I can also say, you're just trying to confuse me with words.
I'm not confusing you with words, man. I'm trying to get some clarity.
Okay. I dated black guys.
Yeah.
I dated some white guys. And on average, they're bigger. And it's not like, you know, and maybe it's just the guys I've dated, but it's like, how do you manage to live and walk around like that? To me, I see it as, I feel sorry for them sort of thing.
Walk around like what?
This is too big.
Is it? Yeah?
It's big. Your normal kind of, I don't know what they call it in inches. Like, maybe, I don't know, a remote control?
Foot long.
I kid you not. I swear.
Yeah.
And you know, we women, sometimes if we have experienced or seeing or whatever, a guy who's maybe well endowed, and we happen to have photos, we share them.
Okay. And what does that do for you as a woman?
Right, when you see him?
Yeah.
You're not seeing them to get any excitement.
Yeah.
You're just seeing them to be like, you know, because your friend is like, bloody hell, you know, she can't walk. And you're like, what? And then she sends you a picture and you're like flipping out, I'm on my way, still alive, sort of thing.
Yeah. You puncture a lung or something.
They go straight up there and out through your house, sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Is that comfortable, uncomfortable?
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah. So then what, in the same respect of like, okay, cool, so this guy wasn't the guy you were telling me about earlier.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah, he couldn't keep it up and all of that, and it wasn't satisfying you. So in what respect, if somebody's dick is too big and they're having sex with you, would you want to keep on having sex with them? Is it because the same thing, you will have an emotional attachment, so just because of that emotional attachment, I'm going to keep feeling uncomfortable?
No, like me, I wouldn't feel uncomfortable for any which way. But, you know, it depends.
What do you mean? Are you saying you can handle any size dick?
No, I'm not saying it couldn't
We're
take
talking about the size now. You said the size would be uncomfortable.
No.
It's too large.
No, and I have experienced years ago where it has been not only big, wide, long, it was just, it was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was uncomfortable, and it's a case
Anaconda.
It was a flipping anaconda. It was a snake. It was
Okay, so, and then what was the result? So it was uncomfortable, so is that why you ended the relationship?
Yeah. Well, we weren't really in a relationship, so it wasn't really much, but it kind of, we did see each other for a while. So, and to be honest, thinking back, this was like when I was 17 or so, thinking back, I remember telling him, listen, that shit is big.
Yeah.
So, you don't drive it like you're driving a car.
Don't yeah. Drive it like an 18-wheeler, mate, not like a fucking Ferrari.
Be careful because... Honestly, I remember saying that.
Interlinker here, bro. Fucking second gear all the way up the hill, mate.
And I don't know if women kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
So even if it is too big, especially down there is elastic.
It's elastic.
Well, I say elastic, it's not elastic bad, but it's elastic. I have a child, my baby came out of there.
It stretches.
So it stretches, yeah.
But it also constricts back to the...
It does, yeah. So
fortunately.
You're damn right. For
everybody, fucking, not just the females, yeah. Fortunately for the males as well, right? Otherwise it'll be like throwing a pin down a fucking dark alley.
So yeah, I mean, when it comes to bigger size, it's possible that the woman can tolerate it, or get used to it.
Yeah.
I've got a friend actually who hasn't had sex in maybe 9 years.
She hasn't had sex in 9 years.
Something like that. Yeah.
Does she masturbate?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's because she says it's really painful when she does.
Yeah.
It's like it's so painful. She can't even tolerate it. And I don't know if it was
no matter the size of the dick.
She only had like her last boyfriend, who she was in a relationship with. It was like with him, it was ouch.
Isn't there something else then, maybe? Something else going on there.
I don't know, it's possible.
Because there's, there was, this chick that I was telling you about as well. I mean, eventually, so the size was a bit of an issue, or the compatibility, put it that way. Because I'm not going to say my size is an issue, because I really don't think it is, but then it turned out she needed to go for a little bit of surgery because she had something on her cervix.
Oh, a cyst or something?
Yes. So that was what the pain was.
Ah.
In fact, it was the start of it. Was like stage 0 cervical cancer, so you could still cut it out.
Okay.
But it was caused from what's the shit that gives you warts?
Just herpes.
No, not herpes. The other one. Like a parvovirus thing.
Human papilloma.
Human papillomavirus. Yeah, which is something that's extremely common. Yeah, but it affects people in different ways, and it's supposed to be apparently sexually transmitted as well. But it's like a distant second cousin to HIV. It's just not nearly as... The strand is kind of the same, but it's of the virus, but it's not nearly as detrimental by any stretch of the imagination. But also what it does is it can cause things like warts. People can be born with it and it just triggers and it activates.
Yeah.
So there shouldn't be any shame associated with it, you know what I mean, around that. But it was that. So maybe, is there not something maybe she needs to go and have a look at?
She's a nurse. She should be. Me, ever since I don't know why, but it has got worse since I've actually been in the clinical side. But ever since I was 17, every year, at least twice, no matter if I'm in a relationship or I'm single, I get checked out.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm anal about it, actually. When I was working...
There's another interesting one, anal. I mean, given the topic, right?
I'm gonna open my fucking mouth.
I mean, you can open your mouth too. Anything you say at this point, given this conversation, all right?
So yeah, I used to work in infectious diseases. And you just couldn't believe. I mean, there is a stigma about HIV and things like that. You kind of, people think that, yeah, you know people, you can tell if someone's got HIV.
No, you can't tell.
I mean,
no,
and when you say you can't tell, you can't bloody tell. There was a guy who was about 25, 27-ish, good-looking guy, really good-looking guy, patient in the hospital ward. He's got HIV. Obviously, they have the choice of, I mean, it's not something we go and say, but sometimes they do say they don't want anyone to know. We kind of keep their notes away so that no one can find it and kind of look at it and things like that. So, we say they didn't want anyone to know. Fine, that's the business. Every day, I kid you not, there was different girls coming. In the morning, there'll be 3 girls. Hey, how are you doing? You say he's got some sort of infection, chest infection or whatever, which he had, but it was to do with HIV. Different girls. And I'll be like, who are these girls, you know? Who are these girls always come to you? Oh, they're girlfriends. Oh.
Well, no wonder he's got what he's got there.
Do they know? So now I was like, me, I'm very straightforward. I don't really care, you know. I'm like, you know, why you can't be doing that, you know? You got HIV, you need to tell them. You know, you're there getting treatment, you're taking your tablets every day. You don't know what it's going to do to them or when they're going to find out. It's going to be too late. At least you can do is just let them know. You can still do what you're doing, but at least you let them know.
Yeah, be man enough to let them know.
Oh, no, I don't want anyone to know. Don't say anything. Actually reported me. I was like, I don't care, I'm going to speak my mind. I'm not going to do anything about it, but I'm going to speak my mind.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Ever since then, you just think there was another guy who was married, his wife, his children came. They did not have any clue he had HIV. And you think to yourself, you've got it, you're being treated. I know, you know, there's repercussions, you might lose your wife, you might lose your family, but it's better than losing their lives.
Absolutely, or ruining their lives as well.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So since then, it's like, I'm like, if I don't know what to do. I could never, there's no way I could, because if I'm with someone, they go to the clinic.
Yeah.
Absolutely go, they have to.
Yeah, I suppose because of some of the things you've seen.
You know.
But it's completely fair enough. I mean, if everyone's going to be open about it and honest about it, then that's what needs to be done.
That's it.
So size does matter.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah?
I mean, but it's not a case of it has to be
Big.
big, yeah. It just has to, like you said, it has to be comfortable for you.
It has to fit. But by the sounds of things, you don't. Yeah. Like a glove. But by the sounds of things, you don't know what size your glove is.
How the hell am I supposed to know what size my glove is?
Well, you've had sex, haven't you?
Yeah, but I'm not there going measuring it around, am I?
Well, you've had sex with different guys. You've obviously seen the different sizes of the freaking penises. And you would, I'm sure, have remembered which ones did the most or the least for you.
But again, it's down to the actual experience as well, honestly. Because when you have one that maybe it's got a good size and you kind of have, when I say basic sex, you just...
Boom, boom, wham, bam.
That's it. It's not actually doing it. I mean...
In out.
You feel it because of the size, but that's about it. But that's really important. As long as it works reasonably, no one's expecting a marathon. I do sometimes, but
a marathon.
You know, I can expect
just a half marathon.
Half marathon to start off with.
Yeah, or at least an 800 meters.
That's it.
No 100-meter sprints here.
No, forget that.
All right, but it still didn't really answer the questions.
What questions
The
you
question
asking?
there, well, about you were talking about the first podcast and why women pay more attention to guys that are with other women. Now, you did say something where you were like, okay, cool. If the guy is more attractive than the girl, then some girls might see it as a challenge and be kind of keen and into it because he's obviously got something then that they, I'm imagining, feel that they want. But wouldn't that be completely paradoxical to every other sort of ethic that a female has about relationships?
Listen, it's a kind of a 5-minute thing. It's like a bit of fun.
Okay.
There's no harm. It's not kind of looking at it as, okay, let me go and find this man. I'm going to marry him and he's going to be mine.
So there'll be no action on it?
Very rarely there's action. As I said, it depends on the type of woman.
Yeah.
And, if you get a grip like me, I'm not a mean person. If I see someone with someone, I wouldn't set that mark.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's too many guys. I'm not gonna.
Do you know any girls that have?
I know girls that may do that.
Yeah.
It's a case of, listen, you snooze, you lose. I can't force it. It is, women depends. They have certain mentalities where you might think, as long as you ain't got a ring on the finger, and the same with men, they think that, as long as there's no ring on the finger, you can ask. And, you can't
there's
force the other
no
person
harm in trying, yeah.
Exactly. And if it goes your way, it goes your way. Obviously, it was meant to be with the other person. Which, again, each their own, as you feel. But then I also look at it as, if the guy's going to do that while he's with someone, then what about when he's with you?
Exactly, right? That's where the whole sort of paradox thing would come in, because anyone who's having a relationship wants that person to be faithful to them. And by virtue of the fact that they've left one to be with you, they haven't been faithful to the person they're with in the first place. So if we're looking at history and connecting the dots, why is that sort of pattern of behavior not going to repeat itself? So the whole theory becomes actually quite nonsensical. So this whole thing doesn't really make any sense.
It's not. No, but I'm sure guys do the same, don't they?
Like, we're wired a bit differently, to be quite honest. And again, I can't speak for every guy, but, there's a part of me that wants to, and I've been single for a long time, so when I'm single, it's a different story. There's ones that I prefer and ones that I don't, but there's a part of me that wants to jump basically every chick that I see. Do you know what I mean? So there's a certain amount of restraint around that as well. Absolutely. Some more preferable than others. But then, there is a thing as well. If I'm in a relationship and I'm happy, and all the needs are being met.
What needs are they?
Then, a lot of days I walk around, I don't even notice other females.
Yeah, I get that as well. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
Completely understand that. What needs are those, though? What needs do guys have?
Well, I think, there's 6 basic human needs for every individual, isn't there?
6? Okay, go on.
Yeah. Well, one of them is definitely significance. So if people are feeling valued and significant in their relationships, then they don't need to go and look for it anywhere else. Being sexual is not one of the basic human needs, but it is a basic human function and desire. So as long as that's being met as well, I think we're okay. Validation with significance is a big one. There's a need to grow, so you can sort of transplant that into a relationship as well, as long as the growth is conducive to both parties. So I'd say validation, recognition, significance, and probably growth are some of the biggest ones, and if you feel like you're being valued by the person that you're with and you're having those needs met, there's probably going to be a couple more, but you're on a pretty good wicket, right? What about this code, this guy code? What sort of code do you think this is? You were talking about the code.
I can't, it will come to me. It will. What, you mean the comedy thing, yeah?
No, you said, do guys have some kind of code? You were relating it to the comedy thing.
Yeah, because I can't exactly remember what was said, and they will come to me.
Do you think we're all tapped into each other somehow, like telepathically, like the fucking Matrix, with numbers flying between us in zeros and ones in binary code, and we're consistently communicating, and it's a massive male conspiracy?
No. Right, what I was going to say is that I feel like there's certain behaviours when it comes to women that all men portray. You could even be in a different island, not even having any TV, but it's like it's the standard, and that relates to what they said, and it wasn't a good thing. It was a good thing. Not that it's overly bad. It's just, I guess it is what it is. Yeah, but it shocked me a little bit.
In a bad way or a good way?
In a bad way.
Right.
I mean, I did think, do guys do that? Really? Honestly?
Well, if you can think of the thing that it was, I'll be able to tell you.
I will think of that thing. It'll probably bother me all night. I'll probably wake up at 3 o'clock and be like,
But then again, there's having said that, there's certain characteristics and behavioral patterns and things like that all women display all around the world. No matter, and a simple one is, like I was telling you the other day, I lived in hostels for a while, and it was mixed dorms, and guys and girls, and it doesn't matter which country they're from, where they're from, what their origins are, what their backgrounds are. I'm not lying to you. Every single chick did the same fucking thing every single morning when she woke up. It's like they slept with brushes under their pillows. Like they would get up, they'd sit up straight, they wouldn't even go to the friggin' toilet or get out of their beds, they would start brushing their hair.
Okay, well, I'm completely different. And I know, like, with my girls that I go on holiday and things like that with, they don't do the same thing either. You kind of wake up.
Okay, but you're gonna, maybe your hair's slightly different.
No, I mean, like, whatever. It doesn't matter, whether it's braids. Okay, it's braids. Yeah, fine. You don't need to do that.
Or a weave.
Or if it's weave, you do. Yeah. If it's weave, you do need to. But you kind of anyway. Like when we tie it up at night.
Yes.
We wrap it up, so maybe there's no need to kind of brush it out as much. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe that's what.
I know it's Chinese, fucking German, Swedish, everything. Any chick from anywhere in the world that did the same thing. I'll be honest though, I don't remember seeing a black chick brush her hair.
There you go.
That's quite funny. Yeah, that's the nature of the beast though. So yeah. As Africans, you guys get the guys with the bigger dicks and the chicks with no hair.
No, my hair is actually quite long. My natural hair.
Is it? Yeah.
It's natural. Right. It's like natural. There's no chemicals. It's really natural. So
it's not relaxed.
No.
Teased.
It's not relaxed. Not teased.
Ironed.
Not ironed.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Any of you got extensions?
Huh?
You got extensions?
What on now?
Yeah.
It's a wig.
Is it a wig?
Yeah, it's a wig.
Oh my goodness.
Take it off.
All right. You don't want to take it off right now.
Well, I got my hair. I came with my hair down, but it's not too bad. But yeah, we just decide what we need, and it's quite handy,
Yeah,
it's easy.
So you can look different every day.
You can look different every day. Yeah. I mean, I want to braid my hair, but for me, I haven't got the patience to sit down for 5 hours to do it.
Okay.
But braids is my thing. I prefer braids than weaves and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, that looks quite nice. What you got on today? When does it come off?
It comes off when I get home.
When you go home?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your favorite kind of wig to wear?
I have different ones. There's one I bought a couple of weeks ago. I haven't worn yet. It's curly.
Keeping it for special occasions.
It's short. It's curly.
Short, curly? Yeah. What colour?
It's brown.
Brown.
Yeah, colour. No, it's mixed. It's mixed. Black and colour 33, which is maybe this colour. 33,
so it's like a bronzy colour.
Yeah, like a brown.
A DKNY watch strap bronzy colour.
Bronzy colour, yeah.
Does that say DKNY or does it say DKY with a question mark?
No, it doesn't.
All right. So what was that? What else was there that you got out of the first podcast? As a woman, listening to how guys feel about women when they
it was
first see
quite,
them.
as I said, it seemed like with you and your friend, it seemed like you were two nice guys. I say seemed. I'm joking. Yeah.
No,
two
that's
nice
fair
guys
enough. Yeah.
Who it tries to do the right thing and say the right thing, tries to be nice and polite and not disrespectful to women, you know. So it was, you know, hearing that as a woman, it wasn't representative of the majority, I think. And most women will think of the majority as well.
What's your experience of the majority
Just,
then?
you know, it's a case of maybe it as well, in terms of when you were speaking, you were more sensitive to people who were listening and women and things like that. So
No, I mean, absolutely. We're not there to be like I was saying, like douchebags or dogs or anything like that. It's about properly exploring genuine ways that we're feeling. And sort of trying to discover that as well.
I completely understand that. Yeah. But it just seemed like maybe we're holding back a little bit. And it's not that it will make it any worse. No, in fact, it would be good for women to hear the truth, the actual truth. Okay, so why, you know, like, for example, you know, when you're talking about a woman who wasn't physically attractive or weight or something like that.
Yeah, she was very nice altogether, but there was just that sort of one thing that sort of I felt wasn't to my liking. So she had bigger thighs and a slightly bigger ass than I thought that I liked.
Yeah, I mean, like, as a woman, when I heard that, I was like, bloody hell, that's a bit, you know, I understand it.
Yeah.
I understand it. But it's like...
So it's a bit what?
Like...
It's a bit what? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Like,
like,
you're saying to me, fuck me.
Not you personally, but like, I'm listening.
Yeah.
And I'm responding.
Yeah, going, well, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, fuck you, dude. You know?
Like, these are my thighs, yo.
You know?
These are my thighs.
And I was also thinking, what's big? What was the size? Because as a woman, most women have some sort of issue about their body anyway.
Yeah, so do guys.
So it's a case of...
So do guys, just by the way.
Really?
Yes.
Well, you need to say that.
We're all just fucking human beings as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not saying anything, are we? You know?
Of course, you're saying it to each other. Yeah? You just said as much earlier. You're saying it to each other.
We talk, just like guys talk.
Yeah.
You know, guy talk, girl talk, you know. But it'll be good to see what size is big, because, you know, hearing it as a woman, it could be anyone at any size, and you're thinking, oh crap, you know, I've always thought my thighs are big.
But see, that was the whole point,
I
though.
don't know, you know, what's that mean? So, you know, and I'm listening to it, and I'm thinking, what size do you think she ought, as a guy, what size is it? You know, you should have said, what size was it? Was it a size, you know, 20?
I don't know. I don't know the friggin' sizes.
Well, you need to figure that out, because you can't be saying stuff like that.
The thing for me is,
and letting women
if you'd have listened carefully, you would also picked up that it was subjective to me. And the way that I said it was, it's a little bit bigger than I thought I would like, traditionally. So it could have been on any size frame, to be quite honest. And it just, maybe perhaps in conjunction to the frame itself of the person or the body. So there's not an actual, I mean, I can't rattle off a number and a size with a measuring tape, because that's not what the whole thing was about. It was about subjectively to me on a personal level at that particular instance.
I understand.
So maybe if she had bigger boobs, the thighs wouldn't have mattered so much. I don't know. How am I supposed to know? I'm just figuring out the way that I'm feeling, you know.
I understand. Yeah. I heard it was more subjective. It was about you know, your own experience as well. As listening, that just goes out the window. You're a guy.
Yeah.
Women, we're listening to a guy. We don't care that you were talking about someone that you care about. We're seeing it. You're a guy. If you're thinking it, someone else is thinking it.
Yeah, there are a lot of people
majority are thinking it. So you need to put it in perspective to be like, okay, she wasn't your type because she was a size 14. This breast, this bump, and then, I mean, you probably make a lot of women insecure actually after that, but it will help. It will help to hear that. Oh, most men think that over the size, over size 14 or 12 or whatever is fat. It would just help us to know that.
Well, that's a little bit too friggin' specific.
Well, you don't have to say it. You don't have to say it.
It depends on the shape and the size of the body and the frame and everything else. But now, so like it's with you guys, like when you sit around talking about the size of guys' packages and what they must have.
You know, I think it's something. Oh, nice. I told you talk about that first.
Yeah.
We discuss when we experienced it, and we discuss how it was and stuff as well. Like, we have a group.
So if I'm a guy and I'm dating you and we've had sex, I need to know that when I meet your friends, they know what kind of a person I am in bed.
Yeah, they probably would.
Wow.
Wow, when I say that, it's not...
So what if I'm not that good?
Listen, no. So, okay. So women, we're not going to say, we don't say everything. We don't say everything. And plus, we're not going to be like, every day, oh, yeah, Sarah, look, it's so boring, this one.
No blow-by-blows.
No, it's kind of, I'm dating this guy, he's a nice guy, and boy, he brings me to tears in bedroom. That's all you need to say.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a good thing.
Okay. So crying's a good thing.
Crying is
when it comes to sex. so if a chick's crying when you're having sex, it's a good thing. Yeah? She starts bawling.
Yeah, that's what
then you know you're on the money. That's the money shot right there, the tears. Okay, something to look out for.
Yeah. So that's all they're going to know, And it's something like, you're going to tell them today and then tomorrow they'll see your face and they're just thinking, no, it's kind of, it's just something, we say, but we don't think about it when we meet the person.
Yeah. Okay. So if there's one piece of information, well, let's put it this way to start with. If there's one thing you can ask me that you want to know, I mean, given that you already think that I'm not a fair general representation of the male population, which is another interesting thing, is why do women think that men in such a large fucking capacity are just a bunch of dogs?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. You've got some nice guys, but I guess...
Do nice guys finish last?
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
No?
No.
Okay. Because that saying's come from somewhere.
But honestly, I know friends who have met or dated or been with nice guys, and they're like, no, I kind of want that kind of rough. I kind of want that someone to kind of beat me up a little bit. Not literally.
Slap me around.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Broken nose.
That's the one.
Broken nose and an orgasm, right? Is that the fucking package deal?
And I always say to them, but why? Why? You got someone there that you can rely on. You know where you stand. Why do you want someone that you're going to be worrying about what they're up to, or giving you bloody headache, or having arguments for 5 minutes?
Some want it.
Oh, that's what they want.
Sucker for punishment.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But if I was to ask you something...
Yeah, so if you wanted to ask me one thing that you want to know about guys and the way that they think.
Okay, so what do men look for in a woman? Like, when I say woman, you've got women. Okay, let's go through. So you've got women that they want to sleep with.
Yeah.
You've got women that they
want to date. A woman that they want to marry. Is that what you're going to say?
Okay.
Start again. I'll let you finish. Go.
No. It's just my eyes were a little bit tainted over there.
By what?
They kind of look like they were literally going to sleep together. The two guys over there.
The two chaps up there look like they were going to do
they were on top. Yeah. I was like, what?
A little bit of dogging going on in the park. Yeah.
Yeah, so girls who you just want to sleep with, girls who you want to be with, girls you want to marry.
Right.
Yeah, go through it.
So, what's the question? What am I looking for?
Yeah, no. What do guys look for?
Well, I think if I don't know. It depends, man. I can tell you what the way I used to think and the way I think now. So the way I used to think was
when you were
like 10, 15 years ago.
Okay.
So the way I used to think when I was 20 or whatever was like, if it was just somebody I wanted to sleep with, then it probably really it didn't matter. It depended on how much I had to drink, to be quite honest.
Wow.
But I would generally like to be relatively attracted to them. But having said that, I don't think that there was ever really just an original preconceived idea that all I wanted to do was have sex with a person. I don't think that really came in as a filtering process. But if there was a type that I was just going to sleep with, then basically what I'd be willing to do would be to sacrifice on what I believe is quality in the first place. So if I was going to say, well, cool, look, this is just for sex, then
You can't be picky.
then yeah, well, that's it. I'd say I'm prepared to go without certain things, features or qualities that I wouldn't otherwise.
And what's that?
Look, I think overall, the sensible thing is, if I'm going to be dating somebody, is somebody that A, I'm attracted to without a doubt, B, that we're physically and sexually compatible, and C, that I feel we connect, and she's, hopefully as grounded as me or near enough, and just probably like not somebody who does things that I don't like, and that's quite subjective to males and individuals. But the older I get, look, when it comes to marriage, I have absolutely no fucking idea, because I haven't even been there yet, so it's just going to be a one step at a time process. So if it was a one night stand or just sex, I'm prepared to compromise on certain things. But if I'm going to date, then I'm not prepared to compromise.
And what's that? What's the compromise?
Well, it would be any of those things, I think, that I explained to you,
Attractiveness.
Yeah, definitely that comes into the equation.
But then sexual
habits, living habits, hygiene habits, social habits, all of those things, and probably what some of the base values and things like that are as well. Because if those kind of things aren't aligned, like, do we both want the same sort of things? Do we both, can we connect and agree to disagree, or disagree to agree, or to at least be sort of compatible and healthy in a conversational manner.
Yeah.
Is there good communication, man? But physical appearance, and I have certain things that I like. I have certain things that I prefer, and that is going to be different to everybody. I wouldn't even try to gauge on the marriage thing, because I haven't even got there.
Yeah.
It would definitely have to be something quite spectacular.
Have you ever nearly got there?
Yeah, well, there was a time when engagement was on the table, and it just didn't work out. I was a different person back then as well. I was behaving in different ways, But also, having said that, I was going to get around to something there, was that the older I'm getting now as well is that I'm actually less prepared to compromise for somebody to sleep with, and that's just the older I'm getting, because I just see it, it's a bit of a fucking waste of time.
It's true, actually.
It's a bit of a waste of time, and it's about being mature and realistic about it as well. So there's that initial urge, like, fuck it, yeah, man, let's get it on, let's fucking shag, let's do this shit, let's satisfy those urges. But there's always, without fail, there's a complication that comes. There's no fucking ways that they could just be friends with benefits. It's not fucking feasible.
Yeah,
we weren't wired that way. So there's going to be feelings, there's going to be complications, people's egos are going to get hurt, pride's going to get hurt, feelings are going to get in the way. So I would rather keep that out of the way until such time as I'm slightly more convinced that this is somebody that even could be potential dating, rather than just a fucking one-night stand.
Yeah, no, I completely get that.
Yeah. Is that the same for women?
Well, I can't speak for anyone else. It's really difficult, because I feel like I'm in my own little world sometimes. Because I have so many morals, and there's things that I want, and as I said, I'm not impulsive. I think about things, so I wouldn't just do things because I'm in the moment or I'm drinking. No matter how much I have to drink, I know exactly what I'm doing or what I'm saying. So I will never do anything silly or stupid or irrational. But yeah, the same for me. Like, I mean, for women, it's not difficult, no matter what you look like, to get a guy or to, you know, have your needs satisfied. And
it's going to be much easier for women than it is for men, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. But it's a case of, for me, like you said, it's I weigh these things up, and it's like, okay, you know, I like this guy, I'm attracted to this guy, physically, I'm hungry and I want to eat.
Hungry, you want to eat. You're horny and you want to fuck.
Nice way to say it.
Yeah, but that's what you mean, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, you're horny and you need to fucking get laid. Yeah.
But, you know, I don't want to, you know, I think it's been a long time since I've had a one-night stand. I don't do that. I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, it's a case of, okay, if this wasn't, and it was a kind of, all right, we're sleeping together, but that's it. Eventually, there'll be a time where, you know, feelings will come into that. And then is it a case of whose feelings get hurt, like you said? On top of that, with me, as I said, if I'm with one person, even if it is as casual as a casual can be, I find it very difficult to find, even though I know I'm not doing anything wrong, it's just knowing that I'm sleeping with someone else and speaking to another person. I find it very difficult.
Sleeping and speaking?
Well, when I say speaking, in hopes of progressing something, you know?
Yeah.
I would have to completely, utterly cut off
ties with the first relationship before even trying to initiate a second one.
Exactly.
And how representative do you think you are of an entire species?
I don't think I'm very, I don't think.
What do you think is the representation then?
I think in terms of my friends and things like that, you know, they can date 4, 5. When I say date, that's what I say. You know, 3 or 4 guys, or whatever, or 2, 3, I don't know, and kind of date them. And they could be sleeping with 2 guys at the same time. Right. But, you know, not necessarily like they're in a relationship with one, or they're kind of gauging, you know, still early days, they don't want to put all their eggs in one basket. You know.
So chicks will date more than one guy at the same time, and they will sleep with more than one at the same time as well.
Yeah. At the early stages. If they feel like, you know, this one has made a commitment and be like, you know what, actually, we've dated for a while, let's make it official, let's be together, then
they'll stop fucking one. But the fact of the matter is they were still shagging more than one at the same time. Isn't that just, I mean, how does that rate?
I mean, I try not to judge. I see it as, I understand where they're coming from. You know, maybe if I could do it, I would do the same thing, you know, because it's a case of, especially women, we get quite attached quite easily, you know, especially if you want something, like me, I know what I want. And if you want something and you think you found that in someone, you know, all of those things that you want is kind of drawn to that person, and you might not know where you stand. But
you're still sharing other bits of it with other people.
Well, as I said, I can't speak for other people, but I'm just saying, or, for example...
But you know women who do that, though.
For example, but I don't know what their feelings are. So it might be a case of, okay, this guy's nice, you know, we're still getting to know each other term. You know, nothing is official. And as well, in this country, the term seeing means that you're not with one person. You can be seeing more than one. That's a term that everyone just knows. Here.
Okay. So it's taken for granted that when you're seeing somebody, you're seeing more than one person at the same time.
Like, for example, if I was dating an English guy and we said to each other, you know, okay, let's just see each other. We'll just see each other. We both know that means, right, we will be sleeping with each other, we might go out, we go have dinner, things like that, but there's no commitment there. He's free to do what he wants, I'm free to do what
How do you know you both mean that?
That is, I know what you mean. But
do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, but if that's what the discussion you've had, I think I talk too much, to be honest, in terms of relationships. I'm very open. Sometimes it's not necessarily a good thing. I always make clear what we're doing. You know, what is this? Because I want to know where I stand. And that's not me being forceful and wanting to get married and things like that tomorrow. No, it's a case of, I don't want to do anything to upset you, you know, and I don't want you to do anything that might upset me. So make it clear from the beginning, then I'll be like, okay, fine, okay, you know, take it as it is. And then revisit it in a month or whatever time. Yeah, but if a guy was to say to me, you know, let's just see each other, you know, we'll just see each other and see how it goes. Absolutely, 100%. That means we're friends with benefits.
And that we're seeing other people.
Maybe it might lead to more, but at the moment we're friends with benefits. And you can see what you want.
Do you think more people should be more blatantly upfront? Because basically what that means, that could also mean there's no commitment yet from my side as a guy. It doesn't mean that I'm necessarily going to shag other people. Maybe I meet somebody who I feel I'm more interested in, but then before that happens, I come to you and I say, look, I think I found someone that I'm more interested in.
Yeah, that's exactly how it should be said.
Yeah, it should be, but it isn't, you reckon?
No. It's definitely not, no.
So how many of your friends, percentage-wise, do you think are bouncing more than one guy around at the same time?
But it's not at the same time. For a long time, it maybe...
It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter if it's a long time or not.
Because it's like they've established, it's like it's an open relationship, essentially. You know, you've been given the go-ahead to go and do whatever you want.
And then other guys doing the same thing.
And you both agreed that.
Okay.
So whether or not they're doing the same thing as you're doing, that's up to you. For example...
But you know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
By virtue of the fact that you should just know what a phrase means.
Exactly.
Without actually having to say it, you need to know that if we're just seeing each other, that means we're seeing other people.
Yeah. That's what it means.
Who said that that's what it means?
I don't know. I said it, but that's what it means. It's common knowledge. Everyone knows that. You know, you ask anyone.
So we'll walk around and we'll ask people, if you're seeing someone, does that mean blatantly that it's taken for granted and it's understood without having to say it that you are sleeping with more than one person?
No, it's not that. Okay, it's not necessary that you will be sleeping with more than one person, but it is definitely that you're not in any commitment to each other. You have no commitment. So, if, for example,
if I'm late for dinner, then it's your own fucking problem.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
There's no dinner.
There's no dinner. So, like, if I'm seeing you and you know, I'm with you, and then you find out that I've been seeing you check my phone, you see messages, and like, who's this guy? Like,
wow, checking phones, that's another thing that just shouldn't happen.
You know, and I'll be like, I'm seeing it. You might be upset because depending on your feelings, but you have no cause to say anything because that's the relationship that you or we or whatever established.
We've established that without actually saying it.
And when you move on to the next one, then you need to make that very clear that let's make it official.
But you don't say, listen, I'm seeing somebody else as well.
It depends. For example, if the person will say, like, you're seeing one person and then you've established we're seeing each other, then I meet someone next week and start chatting to them and think that they may have potential as well and start seeing them. I'm not necessarily going to tell you. If you ask me...
Why wouldn't you tell me if it's understood?
Because we have no commitment to each other. And what do you need to know my business for? You know, it's not like, there's no cheating in this.
And if they did that to you, you'd be okay with it?
It's a case of depending on my feelings. So I know that we're seeing each other. Like, I've seen, I've been dating, seeing guys. And as I said, I'm just with the guy. I don't even know what you do. It's business, whatever. I don't really want to know because that's not what we established. Once we've established that we're together, I still don't want to know what you did because from then on in,
the commitment's real.
Exactly.
And as long as we are respectful and we're looking after each other and making sure we're both healthy and disease-free and all of that sort of thing, then we're cool.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. So if there's one thing that guys could know about women from your perspective, what would that be?
I don't know. you have to ask something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, don't you have an idea of something that you feel you want to impart? Given the conversation you heard in the first podcast.
There was loads of things, but I should have written them down, actually, and I didn't.
Yeah.
That was one. You know, I don't know. There were loads of things that I kind of thought of that would.
So if I'm out at a bar, I'm single, or I'm at a club, or I'm out somewhere, and there's a really attractive woman, and we made eye contact, and she looks like she's interested, what's the best way to try and approach her?
Approach her.
Sorry? Just approach her, yeah?
I mean, obviously, I understand as a guy. It might be. I mean, I can be very forward. I've done it once or twice, and it's the same thing applies. You kind of gauge the situation. You know, if she's on her own, if she's with friends, if she's got a boyfriend or a guy. And the best way, if you're in a bar, the best way would be to buy her a drink.
Okay, and if you're not, yeah.
You know, in terms of not necessarily depending on the type of environment you are, you may not want to. Not that you feel shy or you're not allowed to kind of approach, but you don't know what type of situation, especially when women are around a group of girls, it can be a bit bitchy.
Yeah.
Even though they don't want to be, it's just because
they're showing off in front of their mates.
Yeah, you know, that sort of thing. So you might want to buy her a drink by the waiter, you know, that sort of thing, where you make sure the intention is there that you were the one who bought her a drink, and she can.
But it's not direct.
It's not direct, but it will give her the opportunity and give you the opportunity to see her response.
Okay, so as a guy, when I hear that, if I try that method, the reason what that method does for me is it just takes me out of the firing line for fucking rejection, for outright rejection. So that's how I rationalize that. I'm like, sweet, that's actually a pretty good idea. Do you know what I mean? It's like throwing a hand grenade from behind a bunker. instead of going and like fucking jumping on a landmine. You know, so that's a pretty good idea. It's a pretty good suggestion.
No, it's quite nice for a woman. You're like, oh, that's quite thoughtful. You know, and obviously, if she's appreciative, you will see it.
Yeah.
You know?
And then you've got to figure out what the next move is going to be.
Then, I mean, it's a case of, depending on her, she may come thank you directly. Or if she's still in a group of friends, you might wait for the right time to approach her when she's not so surrounded, or, you know. Or, you know, if you feel that she's accepted it well, then...
What's the best way for you that a guy approaches you, or can or should approach you?
Politely, respectfully. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's all I can say, really.
Why do so many women in London walk around with such bitchy faces? You see that woman, don't you see maybe as a woman you don't see it, but like if you're walking around in London, not so much here today at the park, but they all got like quite a bitchy look on their face.
They got things on their mind, you know, women. Oh, that was another thing. In the second podcast, there was something about on the train.
Yes. Yeah.
And she was talking to herself.
That was George talking about something else, yeah. A woman in the park sitting on a bench.
Yeah, and I was thinking, actually, with people in general, we all talk to ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's really healthy. And, you know, in terms of, there's a preconception that you think if you talk to yourself, it's a first sign of madness or whatever they say. But, I mean, I know I do it a lot.
Yeah.
I do it a lot.
Just walk around mumbling.
Yeah, I do. I talk to myself a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. No, it's just because you try and rationalize things. You know, you might be, for example, going to break up with your boyfriend and you're on the train and you're trying to figure out what you're going to say, trying to say it in your head. If you think about it now, you can't, well, for me, I find it difficult to get the words out, but if I say it out loud,
all right, and practice it.
Yeah,
practice it, in other words. A little bit of internal role play to see how the situation's going to go. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Yeah, interesting stuff. So that's a woman's perspective. So now we're going to try and podcast this thing. Because how do you think we're going to be able to recreate this conversation?
My goodness. Didn't you have like some secret or something?
Well, I hope so. I hope this is kept recording. So if it has kept recording, yeah.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Yes. I hope it has. I'm going to check it out now.
Are you serious?
The other thing is this park has been...
Oh my goodness.
The other thing is this park has been windy as all fuck. So I hope the video comes out okay.
Are you serious? Seriously?
But honestly, only if you agree to it.